You're listening to
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
the Sports Fellas Podcast.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Andres. We are back with episode 58 of the Sports Fellas Podcast. And today, along with my playoff win co-host, Eric, I say that because I still haven't seen a playoff win.
Yeah.
But
that is brutal. That is brutal.
But how you doing, sir?
I'm good. It didn't end great, but we won a game, so I can't really complain too much. We're top final 8 teams when most people thought we'd be giving the Cardinals a top 5 pick, so I can't really complain.
In a rebuilding year, because you guys just drafted, like last year, drafted well, and now this year, nobody was expecting you guys to win a division or either win a playoff game, because a lot of people were talking about the Browns like they were... Ladies and gentlemen, today we're here to talk about the road to Las Vegas and what's happened thus far, and the NBA midseason, because the script from Adam Silver, man, it's been cooking. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that live under a rock, we're gonna talk about the NFL playoffs. So first off, we have the the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Steelers. Obviously, that was a gimme game. Nobody thought the Steelers were winning. No offense, Steelers fans. The Chiefs beat the Dolphins in negative 30-degree weather, and the Texans beat the Browns. And I know a lot of people are gonna say that it was like a surprise, but to me, I don't know if it was a surprise. Like Joe Flacco sat out the last week, right? The last game of the season, and he's like 40 years old. So I don't think that was a recipe for success necessarily. I'm not saying he should have played in the last game, given there was no implications. But when you're at that age, sitting out, it's never a recipe. I mean, hell, we saw it with Lamar Jackson 4 years ago, right? They got the first seed, they got the bye. Lamar sat out the last week, and they lost to the Titans. Now, this past time, obviously the Ravens won. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But now in the NFC, it was a little tricky because a lot of people were saying Matt Stafford was going to get his revenge. That didn't happen. A lot of people were saying the Cowboys were going to make it to the conference championship game. That didn't happen either. And the Buccaneers beat the Eagles. There's so much to go on and digest, but the Eagles, I mean, after losing 5 of the last 6 games, sadly, this is what happened to them. And now, moving on to the divisional round in the AFC, the Baltimore Ravens did beat the Texans. Eric, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to be a journalist right now.
You're good.
And this is the first game I want to talk about, Eric, because I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The Buffalo Bills did not get it done at home. That's it.
That was a disaster game.
What do you think about the game?
I thought Bills had it the whole time. Like, I feel like Chiefs are good, don't get me wrong. And when you have Patrick Mahomes, so far throughout his career, it's been a guaranteed shot to the AFC Championship.
He's the boogeyman, I mean.
But I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong on this, I feel like if you replayed that game, Bills win it like 8 out of 10 times. They just did not, I don't know if I wouldn't say it's all Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's a top 2, top 3 quarterback. I wouldn't say it was all Stephon Diggs. It was just a mix of the whole team not playing up to the past 7 weeks how they played. Me and you talked about it. They've been in playoff mode for the last 2 months. And then in this game, they didn't look the same. And that is because Chiefs are great. But they also just didn't look like that team that was putting fear in everybody. The team that was basically, everyone was saying, they might have barely squeaked into the playoffs and barely won their division. But they're still the team to beat in the AFC. That all went out the window because they just blew it, kind of.
We said it, right? If there was a year that the Bills were going to make the Super Bowl, it was supposed to be this year.
It was this year. And that kick wide right, oh my, I know that. If I was a Bills fan, I would not be able to recover from that.
Bro, so I obviously don't have cable. And then in the group chat, they were saying, oh my God. And I'm like, no way he missed. And all you see the ball go is...
It's dear to heart. Oh my gosh, bro.
Nah, man.
That's some pain right there.
I don't mean to bring up the Blair Walsh reference because obviously Blair Walsh is always going to be a reference. But dude, holy. Because this one was from 44 out, right? So
yeah, about it wasn't even that long. That's the problem. If it was a 55, okay, fair. 40, mid 40s, you got to hit that every time.
It's just funny because mid 40s has become the new 20s, right?
It has. Yeah.
I don't know the Cowboys kicker, but I think he hit one from 57, and he shot that like a soccer ball. He didn't even break a sweat. So You see these kickers kicking from like 50, 55, 60, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Once it hits like the 57 mark, you're like, is he really gonna kick from there? You're like, no way. And then boom, it just goes through.
And it's kind of funny because the just like expectation of kickers has gone up a ton because like you're basically expecting your kicker to never miss inside of 50. And that is
playoffs.
That's a hard thing to ask because I mean a 49-yarder isn't a gimme, but that's just how it is nowadays. Like, and that's why having like someone like Justin Tucker is so valuable. And
kickers matter.
Having a good kicker. That's why there's always that question. My friend sometimes asks me this, and I've seen it like on Twitter and stuff. He's like, if there was a kicker coming into a draft and they were guaranteed to be able to hit a field goal from anywhere on the field, would you take them number 1 overall? And I feel like it's an easy yes. Because what if someone nails you down at the 1-yard line on a punt and you kick a 110-yard field goal or whatever? Obviously, you take a player that can do that. Like,
if you can get points every single drive.
Single drive, come on, dude. You're not losing a game if that's the case.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't want to tweet this because like I wanted to wait for the pod, but have you ever wondered what a soccer player would look like on an NFL field, bro? Like, I want to see like Messi, Ronaldo, Luis Suarez. Like, I want to see these guys kick a football just to see like how far they can go. Obviously, the football is different than the soccer ball, but like I want to see just for shits and giggles. I think it'd be fire.
And I also do kind of wonder, like, Justin Tucker hit a 66-yarder in a game, I believe, 66. I wonder what's the longest he's ever made in practice, too. Like, has he hit like a 75-yarder in practice?
It's so funny when commentators are like, it would have been good from 75. And you're like, yo, like, my bad, bro. Like, you got it. Like, I owe you an apology.
That's what I always wonder. I'm like, what is the longest kick someone has, like, not in a game, because we know the answer. What's the longest kick anyone has ever made, ever?
In practice.
And I'm so curious about that. Like, is it touching 80? Is it just mid-70? Like, what is it? That's crazy.
So Eric, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is in a category of his own. For me personally, Josh Allen is second, but we got to call it a spade, right? Patrick Mahomes outplayed Josh Allen. I don't care what the stats say. I understand that stats are a good reference point of the eye test, and the eye test is biased, but when push came to shove, Josh Allen, the throws that he made were not good. I know Stephon Diggs had that bobble, which was terrible for Stephon Diggs. Like, you need to make that catch 10 out of 10 times. And then it was funny because there was a 2nd and 10, and Josh Allen took a shot downfield. Meanwhile, he had Stephon Diggs wide open, like, before the first down line. Remember, like, I understand people hate Tom Brady, and there's like, oh, he's a check down merchant, but he would be there every single time.
And the thing is, it wasn't even necessarily a bad read because he threw it to an open receiver. Also, it was just a bad throw, which also makes it his fault. If you're gonna try and hit the harder route, you have to hit it actually. And he passed up an easy short route for a somewhat harder. Yes, it was open, but a harder deep route, and he missed it. So that still goes back to it being his fault. Because if he hits, Stephon Diggs is one of the fastest receivers in the league. If you hit him in stride, he was getting at least the first down, at minimum the first down.
At minimum, bro. He was like 4 yards away.
It wasn't great by him. Yeah, that drop by Stephon Diggs was really bad.
Bad, bro.
Stephon Diggs is a confusing guy. It's hard to tell.
Bro,
like
he's washed. I
don't like. I still think he's great, obviously, but like it's.
Do you think he asks out?
You said what?
Do you think he's gonna ask out this summer, this winter?
The thing is, like, I like Stephon Diggs, and don't get me wrong, I'd take him on the Texans, everything, but he's a bit of a drama queen, I guess, to put it politely. Like, drama does seem to kind of follow him, so it's kind of like teams would also be wary of that. I don't know if he's gonna ask out because realistically, with Josh Allen at quarterback on the Bills, you're not gonna get many better situations than that unless you go to the Chiefs, basically.
The Bills have a cap hit next year, and like this was their year. Their best shot was obviously in the bubble, right? Against the Chiefs, that superstar game. It was crazy. But the Bills have a lot of question marks, right? They're probably thinking to themselves, we were at home. This Chiefs team was beatable because they looked beatable the last 5 or 6 weeks. And they're like, hey, listen, we can't get it done. Now Josh Allen is entering the year 1 of his extension. So, like, what can they do? But listen, I think Patrick Mahomes has reached the Tom Brady reign, right? Where it's just like you can't bet against them, right? The Chiefs, for those of you that like betting, they were +3 before the game. And a lot of people took it. They were like, dude, Patrick Mahomes is the underdog. I mean, fuck it. I'll take it, right?
Yeah.
First playoff game on the road, all this narrative around him. And not to bring up Lamar Jackson, right? But when Lamar Jackson lost against the Chargers, when he lost against the Bills, when he lost against the Titans, every single time it was his fault. When it comes to Josh Allen, people are saying, "Oh, he did all he could." But listen, man, the game is the game. Obviously, wins is on a quarterback stat, but Josh Allen's gonna get like 80% of the blame. And like we said, they've been playing playoff football for some weeks, and they were just not ready. Like, that's to get corny, right? Like the old heads say, be ready to play. Yeah. But that ass,
they didn't look ready to play. They didn't look ready to play. And I don't know if it's
the first drive, they looked fantastic.
I don't know if it does come back to the experience thing. Like, Chiefs have been there and done that already multiple times, more than them, so they knew how to handle the situation. But like, because against the Dolphins, Bills looked great.
Bro.
Or Steelers. Sorry.
No, yeah, I mean, against us.
And then Bills, y'all the week before.
They looked
great, and both were do or die games basically. Y'all's Week 18 game was damn near a do or die. Their game against Steelers, obviously it's playoffs. They looked phenomenal both games. And then this week they looked good. Don't get me wrong, they still looked good. They looked like a top 3, top 4 AFC team, but they didn't look like the team to beat or second after Ravens. Maybe they didn't look like that team in that game. And I don't know if it's because the nerves got to him. I don't know if it's because Chiefs are just better. I don't know if it's because Mahomes really does just have their number. I don't know what it is, but they just didn't show up like you expect them to, because I thought they were going to win that game.
Everyone
Bills have
a
big home field advantage. Like, I thought they had it. And again, just like Buffalo has done all the way back to the 90s, whatever, they found a way to mess it up.
Yeah, like, I understand I'm not allowed to talk shit because the Dolphins haven't been anywhere in 24 years, but listen, now we're both on the couch, as the old heads say. Yeah, but speaking of playoff demons, listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole, right? But Lamar Jackson, he looked good. I don't know about very good. I would say very good, but the Ravens beat their playoff demons, or whatever you want to call it. They beat the Texans. They're in the conference championship. This is the first time they're hosting the conference championship game. For those of you that don't know, back in 2012, when they won it all, they beat the Patriots in Foxborough. So this is the first time the Ravens are hosting the conference championship game. Eric, now the question comes again. Can the Chiefs get it done? Instead of the Ravens, can the Chiefs get it done one more time on the road, and why? If you were an unbiased journalist, which you are, and you had to pick a reason for the Chiefs to win on Sunday, what would your reason be and why?
If I'm writing why the Chiefs will beat the Ravens, it would simply because, as boring as this may be,
Patrick Mahomes.
Look at Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and compare it to Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, and there's a massive difference. Now, then the question becomes, what if you start looking everywhere else? Chiefs have a great defense, but so do Ravens. The Ravens also, though, have better weapons on offense and better surrounding players, and I would argue they have the better defense also.
And Mark Andrews is supposed to be available.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't know about Marlon Humphreys, but if he's back too, granted, it's not like Chiefs have any receivers anyway for him to even cover. I think at some point it's kind of like the Tom Brady thing where and Nick Saban and stuff like that. You don't doubt him. You don't go against him because it will always bite you. All those people, all those years who were like, Tom Brady's finally going to fall off. This is the year he's not. He didn't. All those people said LeBron is finally going to be bad. He hasn't been. All those people said Nick Saban wasn't going to win. He kept winning. Like, Mahomes, 6 years into his career, is already in that status of
Mount Rushmore.
By year 3, Mahomes was in that status, basically.
Yeah, like, he threw 50 touchdowns.
Yeah, like, you don't bet against Mahomes. He's clearly the best football player alive, regardless of position. If you're the best quarterback, you're the best player, because the quarterback is the hardest and most important position.
Oof,
but
speak up.
It's just, I don't think, and don't get me wrong, Ravens very well could win this game. I think going into the playoffs, I picked Ravens to win the Super Bowl. No, I might have picked the 49ers. I flipped.
Well, the AFC, yeah.
Yeah,
me too, bro. I'm flipping back and forth too. Yeah,
I flipped back and forth between Ravens and 49ers, but I had both of them in the Super Bowl. After seeing the Chiefs, though, it's hard to bet against them right now. It's hard to bet against Mahomes because he will always make you pay.
You're literally like my fault OG. Like,
yeah,
bro, we're saying this about Mahomes like he's 36. He's literally 28. Like, he's not even 30, and we're talking about him like this. I think, can he all like you have more knowledge than me? Do you think he's already on Mount Rushmore? Yeah,
for sure. I think he's the second best ever behind Tom Brady.
Already.
Because
better than Peyton Manning, better than
I think obviously you can do what you want and look at like longevity. Oh well, Peyton Manning
but longevity.
Has anyone ever, even Tom Brady, had a 6-year stretch this good ever? I don't think so.
No, I mean Tom Brady won the Super Bowl his first 2 years, but
but Mahomes already has 2 Super Bowls, and Mahomes at this point in his career was better than when Brady was early in his career. Brady, the crazy thing about Brady, which is why he is the GOAT and he probably will remain the GOAT even once Mahomes is done, is Brady started out great, won 2 Super Bowls, and as he got older, he kept getting better and better and better and better. He was 40 and he was still getting better, it felt like. Bro, Mahomes is elite right now. Nobody's denying that. I just called him best player alive. But can he do this type of stuff until he's in his mid 30s, late 40s, or not late 40s, late 30s, 40? Like, can he do that? If he does, he's the only person I think that has an argument over Brady. Because right now it's Brady, and then a group of guys, like
a Grand Canyon.
There's
like a Grand Canyon.
Yeah, so and then there's a group of guys like after.
My question is, obviously rings isn't everything, right? We know that. Do you think Pat Mahomes, how many rings does Pat Mahomes need to be better than Brady? Do you think he needs 7 like him? Or can
I don't think it has to. I don't think it needs to be an exact thing because I've even talked about like other sports.
But I feel like in the NFL it's so much different.
No, for sure I agree. But like if you think about other sports, like still like golf, I don't think this player needs this many masters to pass up this one. I don't think this swimmer.
But that's what I'm saying. So do you think Mahomes?
I don't think he needs 7 to. If Mahomes has 6 and is playing like this for the next 10 years, and in year 15 has 6 rings and played like this all 15 years, he's probably the GOAT. Like I don't know how you could really deny that. Although I'm a huge Brady guy. I've always I used to hate Brady back when I was like 10.
We all did, bro. I mean, come on. If you didn't hate Brady, you got bullied in school.
And I've become a huge Brady guy since. So much respect for the guy. I think he's clear and away the best. But
I overrate longevity, right? But Tom Brady won a ring in 3 decades. You don't do that by accident.
But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like that's what I'm saying. Even when you think about what if Mahomes does this and this and this. Brady's done that basically. Like,
bro, Brady won a ring in 3 different decades.
Yeah. And that's what it baffles me. It's insane to me when people say he's not the GOAT and like Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or fuck off. No, he's not.
Bro,
it's Tom Brady.
You look at Messi. Messi won a Ballon d'Or in 3 different decades. We're talking about winning a Super Bowl. He won in 01, 04, 05. Then he won in 14, 16, 19, and then he won one in 2021. 3 different decades.
Crazy. I don't know. It's crazy.
And speaking of legacies, Eric, if Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson wins a ring and a Super Bowl and he's likely the MVP, what do you think that does for his legacy at his age?
I think if let's say Lamar wins this game. Let's say he dominates. Let's say Lamar goes to the Super Bowl. He wins Super Bowl MVP. In my mind, that makes him a Hall of Fame lock. I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Fame lock yet, though. I know a lot of people think so because assuming he wins MVP, 2 MVPs, this. But if he has 2 playoff wins so far. You can't be a Hall of Fame lock, I think.
Hey, let me just say something. Let me play devil's advocate.
If you're gonna bring up Barry Sanders and stuff like that,
I want to bring up Drew Brees. Drew Brees, after 6 years, didn't have a single.
For sure, and that's why I think Drew Brees ended up winning one and stuff, and that's why I don't think at that point, if you go back and look, I didn't think Drew Brees was a Hall of Fame lock at that point.
You look at Peyton Manning, same thing, right? Peyton Manning, he was notorious known for sure choking in the playoffs and stuff like.
But I think also the difference between that is they had playoff wins. They had great playoff games.
But
Lamar Jackson's had 1 great playoff game ever. 1. And it was against us last week, which is why I'm saying this might be the year where he's finally different, where he's finally turned it up, where he's finally it. And if he wins it all respect to him, you probably got to move him up to the 2nd best quarterback alive ahead of Josh Allen. You probably got to say he's a Hall of Fame lock, but I need to see it first because
if he wins it all, do you think he's top 10 all time?
top 10 quarterback all time.
Is it? I mean,
That
you would
might
know
be-
more
that-
than me. You would know
That
more
might
than
be
me. So
nah.
I'm
That'd
just
probably be
wondering.
pushing it. That'd probably be pushing it. But
12?
he would. Yeah, it's getting there because like I mean I saw a lot of people saying like Russell Wilson's a top one.
I
But
think
is he past Russell Wilson even yet? Would you say so?
if Lamar gets it done, dude, because
It obviously context matters. It determines how he does it. If he plays very mediocre but his defense carries him, that's not as good a look. If he dominates, that boosts his legacy a lot.
I'm not trying to bring up Peyton Manning again, but in 2015 against the Panthers,
He got carried. I hold that against him all the time.
carry on my wayward son.
I don't think that Super Bowl helps his legacy much. I'm gonna be honest. I've never thought that. Like
So
whenever
he only has
people
one ring.
say he's a 2-time Super Bowl, I'm like, oh,
No, he's not.
well, like he is, but
Von Miller is looking at his Super Bowl MVP and he's like,
bro,
what?
And that's what I'm saying. So like, and
I'm
if
not trying to be
Lamar Jackson,
disrespectful.
let's just say Lamar Jackson does completely flame out, has another terrible game, throws 2 interceptions, scores 0 touchdowns. What's stopping someone from saying, "Oh, it's just the same old Lamar again"? One playoff win against a team that they, and I'm a Texans fan, but they vastly outmatched in talent. Is that really what's moving you? I wouldn't say it necessarily is. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to say he's a top 5 quarterback, but is he a top 2 quarterback? Is he pushing for a Hall of Fame block? Is he a top 2 quarterback? I wouldn't say so yet, if that happens.
I think he's better than Joe Burrow, man. I know a lot of people are saying that he's not even better than Joe Burrow, but listen, we got to take the sample size, right? You and I, we talk about this all the time. What have you done for me lately in sports? NBA, MLB, football, swimming, golf, tennis. It does not matter the sport. It's why Mike Trout, for us, is not the best player in the MLB anymore, right? Because it's a what outside of Shohei, obviously. It's a what have you done for me lately? This year, Joe Burrow, his thumb died. Like, we got to call
but
it.
that's to play devil's advocate. He was injured, so does that completely remove him, or does that kind of? That's always the age-old question for me: is how do injuries impact rankings?
But it's the same thing in 2021. 2021, yeah, when the Bucks won it all, right? People were like, "Oh, why don't you rate Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?" And I'm like, because it's difficult to rank them, right? Obviously, they're in their own category, but like I couldn't rank Brady and Rodgers because obviously all of this upcoming talent was so much better. And Rodgers and Brady were like at worst like 5, 6, or 7. You know what I mean? So I just think that like when it comes to those two, they have to be in their own separate category because you're not putting them in a conversation with Lamar, Patrick Mahomes. Well, Joe Burrow wasn't drafted. Like who else? Russell Wilson. Who else was in the league at that time? Oh, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz got the Eagles the 1 seed. Yeah. Like you know what I mean?
See,
so, like,
I think it's. Correct me if you disagree, but I think the top 5 quarterbacks, it should feel pretty unanimous, is Mahomes, not in order, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow.
I agree 200%.
Because even if you think about who's 6,
Trevor Lawrence,
for example, Matt Stafford, it is Jalen Hurts if you still like believe in him, which I do think.
Dak Prescott,
yeah, stuff like that. I feel like there's a decent gap between that, and I would say it's a clear one. It's a clear one.
Clear
Mahomes.
1 and 2, I would say.
And 2, I would say right now, Allen is a clear 2, but Lamar Jackson could push for that, depending on how the rest of this playoff run goes.
Right.
But then, as of right now, because he hasn't done that yet, I would say 3, 4, and 5 is 3 Lamar,
4 Burrow, 5 Herbert.
Yeah, maybe. Herbert is
tricky.
He just needs a good team around him. He's got a shit team. And I'm a full believer in that. I think he, with a great team, could be as good as anyone. Like, maybe not Mahomes, but as good as anyone but Mahomes. Like, because Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, they're both in wheelchairs, damn near they're old as shit. If they get like, doubt they'll get Marvin Harrison because they're at 5 and Cardinals are at 4. But like if they get Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze in the draft and they get Jim Harbaugh to coach them and they get a better defense because they take the Michigan defensive coordinator, that's setting them up to put a good team around Herbert, to show Herbert that we believe in you and you're a top 3, top 4, top 5 quarterback in the league and build around him. And I think once you get that team around Herbert, you'll start pushing him into, oh shit, maybe he's the one fighting for number 2 with Josh Allen. But we're not there yet because granted, and then he does deserve criticism for it, that choke in the playoffs last year, that holds weight, and that was a bad look. So I think
I'm sorry, but you can't blame coaching when you have
Yeah,
0 points.
fully
and a
agree.
half.
So like I just think 1 and 2 right now with Lamar potentially.
I think
taking 2,
I think
3
Mahomes and
4.
Allen. I think Mahomes and Allen are easily the best 2 quarterbacks.
I agree.
But
I agree. Right
I don't mean to sound like an old head dude, but if you really think about it, the quarterback position, dude, it's really dead, man. Like
it's tricky because I do think that's a very good top 5. I think that's a very good top 5. But then you start dropping down in like,
bro, because look,
you could make an argument that the 6th best quarterback was a rookie. That's kind of bad.
you got. So let's see how many good quarterbacks there are. So we got Josh Allen, Tua, Aaron Rodgers, he's disqualified. Mac Jones. Then we have Lamar, obviously. Let me not finish that sentence. Kenny Pickett, no. Joe Burrow, that's 4. We got CJ, 5. Trevor Lawrence, 6. Anthony Richardson, 7. The Titans don't have a quarterback right now. Will Levi, he's now. We got Patrick Mahomes, 8. the Vegas, anyways. Russell Wilson, no. We got Justin Herbert, 9. Dak, 10. Jalen, 11. Daniel Jones, by the way. The Commanders, LOL. Jared Goff. Jared Goff is top 12. He has to be. I mean, they're in the championship game. Jordan Love, he's on the horizon. Kirk Cousins, I guess that's 14. Justin Fields, he's not elite. Baker Mayfield, no. Derek Carr, no. Falcons, LOL. The Panthers, no. Brock Purdy, does he deserve to be? Does he?
I would say so for now.
Okay, so that's Brock Purdy, 15. Stafford, 16. Geno and Kyler Murray. Out of those 18 quarterbacks that I mentioned, the only elite ones, and when I talk about like, we could break it to 7, right? We could say 7. Like
I would say the only elite tier 1 guys are those top 5 we mentioned. I would say because
so
of
the quarterback
drop-off,
position is in a position.
I will say though, I mean, we have a good draft coming up of quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, Drake May. I'm a big believer in Drake May.
Yeah.
Which isn't a hot take. Everyone is kind of, but I think he is arguably the best quarterback in that draft. I think then you have Jaden Daniels, who shows a lot of potential. JJ McCarthy. He's kind of a tricky one.
It's tricky, yeah.
But like, I just think there's definitely some incoming talent next year. The year after draft is weak, but I think there's a lack of maybe elite ones. But I also don't.
There's a lot of like good.
There's a lot of good in the middle.
Yes,
tier
I agree.
Which in the past years, there's been like
elites.
Say you looked at like 2012, you could look at damn near 10 teams and be like, how is that quarterback in the NFL? I don't think you can necessarily do that right now because even the bad quarterbacks we talk about.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, like back then, I feel like there was more elite, but there was also more bad. There wasn't as many in the middle.
Let's look at it. Ready? So we got. Okay, let me see how I can play this. Okay, so we got Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees.
Was this 2012?
No, I'm just thinking about like past quarterbacks like from our time.
Oh.
Jameis Winston, Colin Kaepernick. Then the Bears have never had a quarterback in their lifetime.
Justin Fields arguably is their best one.
That's what I'm saying. The Vikings have had Case Keenum, Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Dog, man. Kirk Cousins is a dog. I don't care what anyone says.
Eli Manning. And then the Eagles had like 45 quarterbacks. Tony Romo, Phillip Rivers. You remember Kyle Orton? Legend. Who else? You have Andrew Luck.
Dog.
Ben Roethlisberger. You got Joe Flacco when he was good.
Dog.
Tom Brady. You had Mr. Butt Fumble.
Yeah. So
like you had a category, like you said, of elite only quarterbacks,
at least pushing on elite. Right now, that's the problem. Is even after we get to those 5, I would say probably Matthew Stafford is 6th. That'd just be my opinion. I think Stafford is
It's like
and even Stafford is the closest to elite, and you could even maybe put him in elite. But that being the 6th best quarterback and being the bridge.
No disrespect to him.
No disrespect. I love Stafford.
I love Stafford too. Yeah.
But it just kind of shows like that's how I'd say the NFL is right now. Not as much elite, not as much bad, just a lot in the middle.
Yeah, I agree with both those statements. But I know we don't have a lot to talk about in the NFC. Obviously, it was a close game. Cowboys got their ass whooped. The Packers.
I was a believer in the Cowboys this year too, and they did that.
You did.
Yeah.
You were.
I was a pretty big one.
Yeah, you were a believer.
And I'm not doing that again. So
Jordan Love had a Brett Favre moment, like literally a Brett Favre moment. The Lions. Are we surprised about the Lions? I mean,
no. I mean, I did pick the Rams, but it was a close game. I mean, it was for a little bit, but then that was what? That was the closest wild card game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because all the wild card games are kind of blowouts, but I think
that sounds about right. Yeah,
I would be pretty shocked if they beat the 49ers.
I don't. I think their luck has run out.
I think their luck, and
I think Roger Goodell is not going to have the Detroit.
I gotta say, I'm not on everyone else's side of this. Oh, we gotta cheer for the Lions. I don't care. I don't care that they've been bad for a while. I'm not gonna cheer for them because of that.
Yeah, we've been bad for a while.
Yeah, our teams are always struggling. Let us get some love.
Everyone hates us.
It's not like I'm not about to cheer for the Browns because they've sucked for a while. Like what?
Yeah, no. But when it comes to the Super Bowl, it's a win-win because I either want Isaac to be happy or Lamar to be happy. But if Lamar beats Isaac, it'd be like
gonna be in hell.
He has to acknowledge him.
He has to acknowledge. Yeah, we've got to bring him back on here and make him talk
like a Roman Reigns. Like acknowledge him. Like literally acknowledge
me. We're gonna get Lamar on here, and he's just gonna be like, "Come on, say it."
You're gonna be like, Isaac, acknowledge me, and we're gonna be like,
"Oh my god!"
But
yeah.
Moving on to our last topic, Eric. We can talk more about this next episode, but the halfway point of the NBA season is here, and this is when we get to see the pretenders, the contenders, the teams that are good, the teams that are bad that don't know they're bad yet, and it's been crazy so far. So there's a lot to talk about, but we're gonna give you a Cliff Notes version. So in the Eastern Conference, right, we have the Boston Celtics, who are a unit, Joel Embiid, who looks like the second coming of Christ. Shout out to him for a 70-point game. Thank God we're recording this today. Shout out to Joel Embiid on a 70-point game. 9th player in NBA history to do it. The first since Damian Lillard did it in a win because Karl Anthony Towns, he had 62. And listen, man.
That fourth quarter was bad.
Sports has a short menu. He lost. Yeah. There's no other way around it. He lost. The Cavs look really good even without Mobley and Darius Garland. They're staying afloat. The Miami Heat just got Terry Rozier, which I'm excited about. Listen, a lot of Heat fans hate Kyle Lowry. He did his job. We got the 1 seed the first year. We made it to the NBA Finals last year. He was a big part in both of those things. But this year, I'm sorry, but age has just caught up to him. He started off well. The year, he was very efficient, but it's just taking a toll on his body. And it's no disrespect to him, obviously. The players get older. They're less productive. The New York Knicks are 8-3 since trading for OG Anunoby. Pacers are staying afloat. The Magic are staying afloat. The Bulls are, as they've been the last couple of years, mediocre, but they're still fighting for a playing spot. They can't decide if they want to sell or not. Who else is in that playing spot? No, the Raptors are fighting for that playing spot, and they just got RJ Barrett. Like the Eastern teams, Eric, like I told you, it's literally the Bucks just fired their head coach. Hello.
Yeah, which that's a big topic we might need to talk just a little bit about. That was like it's crazy because they're tied for the second best record in the league.
But
I still fully understand why they fired him.
I agree.
Like it just
there's a lot of
the way
off
they
the
looked.
court
It
stuff
didn't
too.
feel like they were a championship team. And they have all the pieces to do it. I mean, if you have Giannis and Dame and a bunch of scrubs, that's damn near a contending team. And they have good players around them. So I mean, they should be as good, if not better than the Celtics. Yeah,
I agree.
And so I think, the rumors about Doc Rivers, I don't feel good about that.
I feel great. I mean, hopefully it happens. You know what I mean? He's a championship coach.
Jesus, man.
Oh my God.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but Paulo Banchero, good as advertised. Tyrese Halliburton has been great. They just got Pascal Siakam. The Raptors finally got rid of Siakam. Like, they finally took a direction, right?
I'm glad they finally did. They were sitting in that middle ground for too long, and I think everyone was kind of frustrated watching it. Siakam, I'm sure, was frustrated with it. OG, and I'm sure all of the players were frustrated with it. The fans were it was time for something to happen, and I like what they did. Granted, some people have said heard say like the deals weren't as good as they could have been. Blah blah blah. I think they got a good return on him. Everyone knew Siakam was on the trade market, so that always in itself somewhat lowers the value just a little bit. And I think they got. I mean, I also lately I've become more and more of a fan of RJ Barrett too. So I think he's a decent. He's not going to be a number 1, a number 2 on a championship team, but he's a solid player where I think a fresh start will do him really good,
especially in his hometown, right? Not to
Yeah.
get corny, but he's from
I
Canada.
don't know. I think this is good for the Raptors, and also we already know the Raptors are very solid at developing first-round picks, mid to late first-round picks. So even if some of those picks they got aren't like in the top 10, if they're like 15 through 20, 22, that's fine for them because they find a way to make those picks work and turn them into good players. They just turn them in to all those assets, OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. They just got all these assets from 2 players like that. The problem is they haven't been that free agent destination that's been able to help them.
And they've never been that. Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever will be unless you get somehow, which I don't see this happening, like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a Canadian guy, to go back. He's Canadian.
To revolutionize.
Yeah.
He's Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get someone like him to be like, I want to go be the guy to finally get them over that hump. Granted, we know what Kawhi Leonard did, but that was by trade. It wasn't. And once he got
it wasn't by choice.
Yeah. Once he got the chance to leave, he left. Which that's no hate to the Raptors or anything. It's just what it is.
It's just the reality.
Yeah. And that's what I've seen some people talking about. Mexico City. Imagine if they had a team. Bro, if you think Toronto Raptors can't get free agents, no way you think Mexico City would be able to get. Like,
bro, Mexico. Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Oh my god. But
it's interesting to think about though. But I'm glad the Raptors finally made the move.
Yeah, I agree. I still think the Celtics come out of the East. We need to make one more move, and I can feel good about our chances. But the Celtics are a wagon, man.
I want to see who the Bucks get as head coach. If it's Doc Rivers, I'm going Celtics. If it's if it's almost anyone other than Doc Rivers, I might lean Bucks. But I just can't trust him.
The Bucks look beatable, man. Like I understand that the record is 30-13, but not to get corny with the whole David Blatt thing, but the Cavs didn't look beatable though. This Bucks team, they look beatable. It's a different NBA, yada 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 yada. Shut the hell up. The Bucks look beatable. It's weird.
They do. It's weird.
Giannis's numbers has never been done in NBA history. He's averaging 30, 10, and 6 on 65% true shooting percentage. And people are saying, oh, he's disqualified from MVP. No. I don't care about if he has Dame. I don't care about KD and Steph. I don't care that LeBron won 2 MVPs 11 years ago. We're in 2024. Giannis should be an MVP candidate.
I do think he's a candidate, no doubt, but I do think the overwhelming favorite right now should be Embiid.
And like, God willing, he plays the 65 games because
that's the only thing I think that's going to stop him from getting it.
Yeah, he deserves to be MVP. I'm sorry, dude. Like after what we saw last night, holy shit. But enough of me babbling about the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the West. Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, nothing more to say about them, right? They're the 1 seed right now by a half game. They've obviously exceeded all expectations. I thought they were going to be really good last year, not this year, but credit to them. Kudos to them. OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 30 a game, perennial candidate for MVP. Chet Holmgren, Eric, should he win Rookie of the Year? Or is he disqualified like someone from 6 years ago? Holy shit, it's 2017.
I don't have that strong of an opinion about this. I do think it's kind of dumb that second-year players for whatever can win, but I don't care enough to actually like argue with anyone over it. So if he wins, I'm not gonna be bothered by it. But like, it's hard to go against Chet right now because I mean, Wemby, obviously we know how good he is.
Bro, he is really good. Bro. Like he's not good. He's really good.
Nuts how good he is. And I was hating 100%.
But
I'll admit, and I'm gonna hate for the next 15 years because he's on the Spurs and he dissed the Rockets before he was ever in the league. Obviously, I'm gonna hate. But this entire time, I knew who he was. I knew how good he was, and that's why I was hating so much. If he was some scrub, Jeremy Sochan, I don't give a fuck about him. like, I know how good Wembanyama is. I know he's going to be the best player in the world. I know he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But when we're talking rookie of the year, and I know a lot of people say rookie of the year wins shouldn't matter because a rookie isn't expected to make that impact. But when a rookie, second year player, whatever, is making that impact, shouldn't that be a positive to them?
And another team to talk about in the West, the Clippers, because since December 1st, they are 20-5. They have the best record in the league, Eric. I know you're not too fond of King James anymore, but you're a big Kawhi guy, you know?
I'm not, again, I have a love-hate thing with Harden, and you even know that, because there's times where I be hating him, and then there's times where I'm like, fuck, man, but seeing him win a ring, like, it's a very much a love-hate thing, because I get annoyed with him, and more specifically his fans, but also, I mean, he was the Rockets for, like, almost a decade. Yeah. So, and seeing him win a ring would feel like he finally completed
his quest.
He completed basketball, basically. He finally got what he needed to do.
He's going to be like Cody Rhodes and finish the story.
And also, like you said, we're both very big Kawhi fans. So, and you're a big Paul George fan, and I do like Russell Westbrook. So, how cool would it be seeing Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George all get their first ring, and then Kawhi getting another one? Like,
as they open up the Intuit Dome next year.
And it would finally, one of my favorite parts of them winning would be it would finally shut Lakers fans up, because they are the most annoying fan base.
Amen.
My God, I don't know. They're another one of those teams where the opposite of the Mahomes and all that stuff we're saying is, I'm not gonna believe it till I see it type thing. Like, they just always find a way. I mean, have they ever made it past the second round ever?
Who?
The Clippers.
Yeah, Paul George did it 3 years ago. Remember?
They made the conference finals?
They lost to the Suns. Remember? Kawhi got hurt against the Jazz.
That was the conference finals.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
They lost to the Suns. That Chris Paul had 41 in Game 6 at the Clippers Arena after Paul George had 41 in Game 5 in Phoenix.
Damn. Am I tripping?
You're tripping, bro. That was their first.
They did. All right. Fair enough. I forgot about that. Still, my point is, like, they just haven't gotten it done. And
I mean, this year they're healthy though. Well,
they are healthy, and
let me knock
their
on wood,
chemistry. Their chemistry is popping off now.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Zubac is about to miss a month, but I mean, hopefully he's back soon. But let's continue going down the list. The Pelicans, they're the 5th seed for some reason.
I don't know. I don't see them as much of a threat.
Yeah, the Mavericks, bro. Like, I ran out of adjectives to describe Luka, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. The Suns are finally picking it up. They've played mediocre teams, but you still got to play the game. So the Kings are back in the play-in momentarily. The Lakers are in the play-in, and the Houston Rockets, sadly,
we're falling off a bit. But I mean, it is. I'm not that upset about it, to be honest.
But another team, the Golden State Warriors, Eric. Did you finally win? Is this the end of the dynasty as we know it?
My player, Chris Paul's on there, so that just sucks.
Like, hey, he's injured right now. They can't blame him. They can't blame him.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He's
getting traded, bro.
Does kind of feel like the first time we're seeing Curry slow down.
It's weird to see.
It's weird. Like, he's not playing like the same Curry we've seen the past decade.
It's funny because like obviously we like LeBron, and somehow LeBron fans always find a way to say, oh, and when LeBron was 35, he was winning a championship. Dog, no, like, respectfully, nobody cares. Like, we're way past that. Like, seriously, like, I don't care that Steph and LeBron were in the same conversation, yada yada yada. Like, they need to calm down. What is that called? Main character syndrome, whatever.
I say that all the time,
bro. It's bad, but it's crazy because the NBA is in such a good spot right now.
Such a good spot. Me and you trash talk NBA a lot,
bro. But last year it was bad.
Yeah, for sure. But this year it's cooking right now.
You know what? You know what's the difference between this year and last year? Health.
True.
Every superstar, matters. God willing, has been healthy.
It matters.
We've seen it, and it matters. Like I said, the Clippers got. Let me keep on knocking on wood, but they get help. Oh yeah, but listen, like, health is wealth, right? So we talked about this a couple episodes ago. I think we still have the same 5 for MVP. We have Embiid, and then there's Shai, Giannis, Luka, Joker, Tatum. That's 6 already, dude. Like, the NBA has been really good this year. The Lakers won the in-season tournament, and LeBron had some controversial comments about it was just 2 games, and we're like, yo, my bad, OG. My bad.
I don't know.
I'm still pro in-season tournament. I don't care.
I'm not
and,
against that at all.
And we have East versus West. So next episode, when they announce the rosters, we can talk about the biggest.
I'm
snubs.
so glad. I'm glad it's back to that.
No, but the team captains was fire.
It was
bro.
cool. Yeah, it was cool for sure.
But at this time, I got you.
But and also, I do feel like East and West are getting kind of more balanced somewhat in star power. So it's kind of cool to see them go head to head again. Back then, I feel like it was almost like West
The
was
West
dogging
had
the East every year. So that's why I was kind of like,
And then
let's
LeBron went
change
to
it
the
up.
Lakers, and then everyone went to the East.
Yeah, and now it's changed up. So I don't know. It'll be cool to have back. It's kind of like whenever they did the Pro Bowl where they were doing team captains. Once they went back to AFC, NFC, it was kind of like, okay, good. It was fun, but I'm glad to have this back now.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, that has been everything for episode 58. Eric, what's your Super Bowl prediction? Are we gonna be boring? Are we gonna say
No. What you say yours? Because I have one in mind. But
all right, I'm gonna say it. Lamar. You know what? I'm gonna say 1v1. Ready? Lamar Jackson is beating Patrick Mahomes on Sunday because quarterbacks play against each other. So Lamar is gonna be positive against Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna become the third quarterback to take down the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes.
I'm gonna say a hot take.
Take it to the bank.
Chiefs are gonna beat the Ravens and then beat the 49ers and win it all. That's my prediction.
Damn, that'll be the first team to go back to back.
Taylor Swift magic. She's doing it.
Yeah, bro.
She's
A lot of
gonna
people.
get a Super Bowl ring.
A lot of people have been crying about her, dude. It's so funny.
It's so weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? If it really bothers you that much,
Turn off the TV.
The 15, 20 total seconds throughout a 3-hour game that they show her on TV, if it bothers you that much, don't watch. Go watch Saturday Night Live or some dumb shit. Like, bro.
Hey, what's wrong with Saturday Night Live?
Nothing. I'm just saying, go watch something else. I like Saturday Night Live, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been everything for episode 58. We'll be back next week. We got a lot to talk about with the MLB Hall of Fame, and we're gonna break down the NBA All-Star rosters. And Eric, Bayern is not first in the Bundesliga.
I know,
yet.
and they're like 7 points off with only one game in hand. It's not looking good for them.
And Chelsea is slowly getting back to European spot.
6-1 today, Mills, bro. So it is what it is. But Carabao Cup final, I'll take it.
And Vinicius scored a hat trick against Barcelona. We love to hear that. And won the Super Cup. But so much footy on the horizon. Eric, we got the Euro, we got the Copa, and we got the Olympics, and we got the Champions League next month. Dude, I remember when The Walking Dead was in its prime. Every single February, it was The Walking Dead and the Champions League. Nothing else. Like, that's all you look forward to.
Damn, see, I didn't get to be a fan throughout that phase, so I didn't really experience that.
Yeah.
But I was a Walking Dead fan.
Yeah. The first 5 seasons of The Walking Dead. We should have an episode where all we do is talk about shows and movies, man.
I'm actually so down. Let's just make a specialty episode where we each come in with certain. We should plan that actually.
I bet we'll do that for sure.
I'm down.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. We're on all platforms. TikTok video coming soon, but do follow us on TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.